Making the most money is almost everyone's goal in Southwest Florida. But if you want to continue to make and successfully sustain that money, there are some things you need to keep in mind. Things that could hurt your money growth in Southwest Florida. Now, this game is a roleplay game, but let's be real here. The backbone of this game is cars, the beautiful vehicles. We all want them. But if your goal is to make the most money, not having a main vehicle is a habit you must break, because naturally, just buying so many vehicles at once is going to rip your money. If your goal is to keep your money growing, as a beginner, why not just stick with maybe 1 or 2 vehicles? Keep those cars until it is actually safe for you to buy multiple cars. For example, if I was to buy a bunch of vehicles, I would make it so that I don't get poor afterwards. Let's say that I have 10 mil in the game. I would probably buy maybe 1 hypercar with that and maybe 3 supers. I don't know. The whole point is you want to be left with some money after buying a vehicle. If you're unable to do that and your goal is to make the most money, just stick with 1 vehicle. It's going to have a pretty big impact. This is a habit that some people don't even realize they're actually doing. It has a huge impact on your money in the game, and that's buying and selling vehicles too often. They may be asking, how is this such a problem? They don't just get all the money back after selling the vehicle that you paid the car for. That's the thing, you don't. Let's take a look at the most expensive car inside the game right now. Tesla Roadster. This vehicle, straight from the dealership, cost 3.5 mil. If I sold it, I would get about 2.6. You lost about 875,000. That's almost $1 million that just vanished. And if you keep doing this over and over and over, you are going to go poor. Bankrupt. This is probably the most valuable way of staying rich. How to not go poor? Yes. Quite literally, yes. Some people, which is really smart, will literally set a limit. It's like a budget, but you're not really, how can I say? For example, let's say for example that you have $10 million in your account. You should make it your goal to not go below 1 million. Or let's say you have $450 million like me. If I was playing the game legit, like I made this money on my own, my goal would to maybe not go below 200 million. The easiest way to not go poor is simply doing so. I recommend you try it. Like some people out there will just outright just buy crap and go from like 10 million to like a few 100,000. I highly recommend doing this. Now, one of the many features this game has to offer is car customization. Now, don't get me wrong, this feature is very cool. Before, we were only able to just change our suspension, paint, and our tires. But now we're actually able to enhance our vehicle performance-wise. The thing is, these things do cost money. And if your goal is to make the most money, I would highly advise that you don't customize your vehicles too often. Like I said, you should have like 2 main vehicles already. But like if you're like purchase car, customize, purchase car, customize, your bank account is literally going down. Now the thing is, people are competitive in this game, you know. Sometimes you stop at a red light, someone pulls up, and next thing you know, they want to race. So sure, customize your car just so you don't get embarrassed. But before doing so, like before customizing, take a moment to like get a feel of the vehicle. There's some cars out there that literally don't need to. Some cars really don't need much spent on it. Of course, it's your right to customize your vehicle however you want, but if you want to make the most money, I'd highly advise that you chill on the customizing. Now, probably the most common and probably the best making money method in the game is called AFK grinding. But the thing is, if you do it incorrectly, you're not going to get the full potential of that money making. The mistake I see players making is simply just jumping to AFK. Now the thing is, the goal is to stay in the game. And if you're just jumping, you're going to stay inside the game. However, what you should be doing is having your mouse moving. You have to automate your mouse clicking and moving. Because sure, you will stay inside the game for jumping, you know, but this job payment UI is going to disappear, resulting in no pay. If you want to keep making that money, you have to AFK correctly. I do have a video on this topic showcasing how to do this on macOS and Windows. It's a very easy setup that I highly recommend trying. Those are things that are keeping you poor in Southwest Florida. But why play this game if you don't even enjoy it? Well, Southwest Florida is a great game. It can be fun, pretty boring at times. Therefore, I made a video going over 20 things that you can do when you're bored of the game.